Hi, I'm Paul from Velo Works, and in this video we're going to be giving you 5 tips to think about when purchasing an electric bike. If you're thinking about buying an e-bike, it's worth watching this video all the way to the end. Come join me. So tip 1, you need to know what the law states around buying an e-bike. What is an e-bike? So an e-bike, a legal e-bike, is a bike that has maximum motor output of 250 watts and is pedal assisted. So it's not twist and go. It offers you assistance while you pedal up to 15.5 miles per hour. Anything outside of this parameters is not classed as an electric bike. It might be electric and it might look like a bike, but in terms of the law, it's not an electric bike and therefore it needs to be classed as a vehicle. If you use a bike that's not within the EAPC guidelines, you are breaking the law. And if you have an accident on one or you cause injury to someone, the repercussions can be quite serious. We are a bike shop. We are not insured to work on twist and go, anything like motors that are put on bikes that allow you to go at any speed. We cannot touch those bikes. We're working outside the parameters of our insurance. We believe that it's really important for you as a customer to buy the correct bike so you can use it legally on the roads. So that's really important. Step 1, understand the law surrounding e-bikes. Step 2, choose a reputable brand to purchase your e-bike from. This is a customer's bike. I've been servicing this bike for around about a year and a half. It's a Cube. It's a very decent e-bike, and I'll go into why in a while. But there's loads of brands out there that you can buy, and you can spend anything from, say, like £300, £400 upwards. And if I'm honest, you're buying a product where you have no support. So if you come away, let's say there's a bike out there called e-Power bike and it's £500. I'm just using this as an example, and you buy it from a well-known online retailer, it's likely that that product has been imported into the country and there is no support for that product, i.e. is there any support for the motor? Is there any support for the spokes that it has on the back? Is there any support for the battery? There may be, but the likelihood is it's a one-off product that someone's selling. And we've had a lot of experience of this, of bikes, where people have said to us, oh, can you get this specific part for this e-bike? And we can. We have all the main distributors in the UK for bikes, and they don't do obscure parts for your one-off bikes that have been made in another country and imported. So it's really important. If we use this as an example, this Cube bike has a Bosch motor, it has Shimano components, it has Shimano hubs, Shimano brakes, it has, I believe, Suntour forks. All of these products on this bike are serviceable and they have warranties, and we are able, as an independent bike shop, to replace motors, service motors, replace parts, service all the parts. So this bike as a product has huge longevity. If you go and buy your £500 e-bike off Green Country Solutions because they've got a nice website and you get that product, are they going to be able to offer you the support? If they can, brilliant, that is excellent, but it's worth knowing what you're buying and if the company that you're buying off can offer you that longevity with the product. That's tip 2. Tip 3, think about what you're getting for your budget. Now, I know that £300 is a lot of money. I know that £500 is a lot of money. I know that £1,000 is a lot of money. But in terms of e-bikes, unfortunately, that is on the lower end of buying a bike. In my mind, really, you need the good e-bikes start from kind of £1,500 onwards. This bike here, for example, is around the £1,800, £2,000 mark. I've obviously spoke about the longevity with this bike. If you look at an e-bike that's £300 for £500, I can almost guarantee you would be better off using that money to buy a regular non-e-bike. Because again, I am repeating myself a little bit, but what you get on those products is you get wheels and components made with very cheap metals Again, the support thing, it could be that it's just a one-off product that you're not going to get support with. So it's really important to think about what you're getting for your money. So let's go for a theoretical example. If you want to buy a bike because you want to get into cycling, understand an e-bike gets you over that kind of initial hurdle of the fitness thing and, you know, getting used to a bike. We all know what it's like getting on a bike and not being on one for years, and it's really exhausting, and you just want to kind of take that away to kind of start cycling and enjoying it. If you have a budget of £800, my advice is go and buy an £800 bike that's not an e-bike, unless you specifically need it for work or commuting. I do feel as though £800 is too small a budget. You want to be going to £2,000 to get yourself a really nice bike that's going to last you years. And I know we're not dealing with small amounts of money, but it's better to spend £1,800 on a quality product, £2,000 on a quality product, than £800 on a product that isn't going to last you very long. For example, if you were to buy a non-electric bike for £800, around about £800, you could go to Temple Cycles, who build beautiful bikes, steel bikes, very light. And if you're just an occasional leisure rider, you will love those bikes and they will last you 30 to 40 years. So as a product, that is a better option. Only you can make the decision for yourself. But I do think you need to look into what you're getting for your budget, what support you have, and go and talk to bike shops and see if they can help you with your budget and suggest something that is really good. So tip 4, go to a bike shop to buy your e-bike. There are plenty of bike shops that specialize in selling e-bikes. You can talk to them directly. You can ask about the product. You can ask what longevity you have with the product. Are they willing to service it? Can they get the parts? Can they get batteries for them? The batteries for e-bikes can be quite expensive. If you have an e-bike for 3 years and the battery goes, you want to know that you can get another battery, and at what cost is that going to be? Because what can happen is someone buys an e-bike for £700, they ride it for a few years, and then a new battery is going to be £300 or £400, and they kind of just write the bike off or dismiss it or sell it or whatever. So actually, it's not a very sustainable way of buying bikes. It's actually quite wasteful if we don't look at these as like long-term purchases. And one of the issue is that we could have in 10 years' time is that there's just going to be a massive e-bikes, very cheap e-bikes in landfill, because we're not thinking about the longevity of the product. And that's where bike shops come into it. I've mentioned that there's certain e-bikes that bike shops aren't insured to work on. Therefore, if you go to a bike shop, you talk to them, you can get a good idea of what you're buying. And that's a strong recommendation for tip number 4. Tip 5, look at the sustainability of the product you are buying. So coming away from e-bikes for a second, we had to buy a dehumidifier for the workshop the other day. And I was looking at various ones. I went to this website and there was one on there for about £450. It looked brilliant. And when I read into it, it gave you a 6-month warranty. I was like, £450 for a 6-month warranty. That is wild. How can I buy a product that I'm then only covered for 6 months for quite a large amount of money? Bit more research, I found a reputable product from the UK with a 4-year warranty. And that's what we need to think about when we're looking at purchasing an e-bike. So this Cube bike is a customer of mine. It's done around 10,000 kilometers. He's sold his car to purchase this bike, and this is his sole form of transport. He services it regularly. It does him a really good service day to day. But as mentioned before, it's a really good sustainable bike. Cube make really good bikes at a really nice price. Why it's sustainable? I've mentioned it has Shimano components. These components have loads of longevity. We can get lots of parts for them. Really serviceable, easy to do, easy to get hold of and easy to service. The wheels are branded, so it's got a basic but branded Shimano hub, which is brilliant. It's got a part number on it. If there's a problem with that hub, I order the parts with the part number, boom, it's easy. It's not an unbranded hub where it's very difficult to get parts. The wheels are built really well. It's got Smart Sam Schwalbe tires. It's got a rack. It's got a Bosch motor. Bosch are really well committed to e-bikes and e-bike motors. They offer a great service for us as dealers and service centres. The same with Shimano steps. So these are kind of the motors that I would focus on having if I had an e-bike. Go for kind of Bosch or Shimano. Really good, sustainable products. We've got Shimano brakes. It's just, I love it. It's just generally a really well thought about e-bike. Now, if I use an example of a brand, and I don't really like to name and shame on Velo Works, but I think for this video it is really important. So there's a brand called Van Moof, and they bought out e-bikes, very utilitarian looking, and loads of marketing. And this is where you really need to look through the marketing, because they had loads of marketing. They had a pop-up shop in Bristol. People were buying these things left, right and centre. That company no longer exists. They had some major warranty issues with their products. There was a lot of stuff that was all integrated. I believe a lot of it was down to the rear motor, but generally that's a product where people were spending thousands on buying these e-bikes. They were the latest thing, loads of marketing, and now people with those products can't really get any support with it. There might be some shops that still support it. There might be still some spares out there. That's a real poor example of building a sustainable product. And that's where we need to look at what we're buying and do some more research than what we just see on the internet, and look past the marketing. So another point within point 5 is to look beyond the marketing and look at actually what it is you're buying and the longevity of it. Because I think it's really important for us to look at products and how they can last, whether I say a lifetime, because probably e-bikes won't last a lifetime, but we generally buy bikes that will last us a lifetime. And I think that when it comes to e-bikes, you can make really good decisions with all the tips that we've mentioned to guide you to buy a really good product that will suit you. You may have to spend a little bit more money, but it'll definitely be worth it, because it's better to spend £200-300 more than waste what we're going to do on a product that won't give you longevity. So thanks for watching the video. Please share any tips that you have in the comments. Here at Velo Works, we really like e-bikes. We really see their purpose in a modern world, and especially as a modern form of transportation. We don't ride e-bikes ourselves, but one thing we do love is we do love sustainable products. You can see that in the wheels we build. We love to build wheels that last and last and last. And so we just felt as it was really important that we do this video to just share our views on e-bikes and just to guide you a little bit in a different direction, maybe to some things that you haven't thought about. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments, and always thanks for watching, and please subscribe.